Hi, my name is Tyler Kellenberger, and for my special population presentation, I'm going to be talking about skin cancer in the United States. To start, skin cancer is a disease that occurs when the body does not properly repair damage to the DNA inside of skin cells. This allows the skin cells to divide and grow uncontrollably. There are a lot of different risk factors associated with skin cancer. Some of them include fair skin, a history of sunburns, excessive sun exposure, sunny or high altitude climates, moles, precancerous skin lesions, a family history of skin cancer, a personal history of skin cancer, a weakened immune system, exposure to radiation, and exposure to certain substances which may be considered carcinogens, or cancer-causing agents. The distribution of cancer, particularly skin cancer, varies from state to state. Incident rates for melanoma among all races vary widely. One study showed that they varied from 11.9 per 100,000 in Alaska to 31.9 per 100,000 in Utah during a particular time period. So why do these rates vary from state to state? Well, the answer lies in the differences in populations by race, age, and genetic background, by socioeconomic status and healthcare access, and by patterns of UV radiation as well as the exposure to UV radiation. The majority of the differences in each state can be attributed to these differences in state populations. Among Caucasians, the population at highest risk, higher UV levels are associated with higher melanoma incidence rates. For this particular population group, Alaska has the lowest melanoma rate of all 50 states. It's 14.8 per 100,000. And the highest melanoma rate of all the states, 66.7 per 100,000, can be found in Hawaii. So let's talk a little bit about race and ethnicity and how they play into skin cancer. Well, skin cancer morbidity and mortality are disproportionately higher in Blacks, Hispanics, and people of low socioeconomic status. However, melanoma is more common in non-Hispanic whites and people of high socioeconomic status. Now, you may be wondering, well, why is this if more whites are getting it, but more Blacks are dying from it? Well, Blacks, Hispanics, and people of low socioeconomic status present with more advanced disease or have increased mortality. Their 5-year melanoma survival ratings are much lower, 71.4% for Blacks compared to 92.9% for whites, as seen in this graph. Non-melanoma skin cancer in Blacks is uncommon. However, despite this lower incidence in ethnic minorities, Blacks as a whole present with later stages of more aggressive carcinomas. Additionally, the less educated groups tend to have lower screening rates and often have poor and inaccurate perceptions of their skin cancer risks. Like the less educated, ethnic minorities, the elderly, and people with lower income may be more likely to have inaccurate skin cancer risk perceptions. An additional factor is a lack of insurance and increased age, which are particularly the lack of insurance associated negatively with race and ethnicity of minority groups. So what about gender? Well, gender also has an influence on skin cancer disproportionately affecting groups. In 2011, melanoma of the skin was the 5th most common cancer in men. The incidence rate was 25.4 per 100,000. During 2002 to 2011, melanoma incidence increased at an average annual rate of 1.6% for men and 1.5% for women. Although these incidence rates for melanoma are increasing among both males and females, melanoma death rates are only increasing among males. Interesting. So what about age? Well, age is also very polarized. The older you get, the more likely you are to contract a skin cancer. And why is this? Well, skin cancer is much more common with older age, largely because damage from UV light builds up over time. The UV light, whether from the sun or tanning lamps, changes the DNA in your cells and damages them so that when they replicate, they have certain alterations and they're not the same healthy cells. The DNA is the coding that tells your cells how to reproduce, so if they can't reproduce properly, they will proliferate and form cancer. Additionally, with age, your body's ability to find and destroy these cancer cells decreases significantly. Finally, I want to end with 2 discussion questions. First, in what ways can the health disparities described in skin cancer patient populations be addressed? And secondly, why may certain groups be opposed to designating skin cancer research funding for the study of minority groups? Thank you, and have a great day.